Hi everyone, this is Natasha from Customer Success, and I'd like to welcome you to today's webinar on document templates, simplifying the creation of documents, presented by me, Natasha Dabauskas-Reid. So today we're going to go through an overview of the topic of document templates. I'll go through a demonstration where we will build a document template together, and then a conclusion. So welcome to today's webinar. And we're going to show you how you can improve the quality and accuracy of your legal documents, plus how they can help you save a lot of time. I'm Natasha. I'm a customer success specialist here at Actionstep. I am from the legal industry, so I try and give you examples and demonstrations that you can really relate to. And hopefully this will be one of those occasions. So the topics we'll cover today are: what are document templates and how can they help you? How do we create document templates? I'll go through some merge field options, and I'll also take you through an example template, which we'll build together. Okay, so what are document templates and why do we use them? So a template is a pre-created document that's formatted to pull information from your Actionstep matters or files. Rather than starting from scratch to format a document, you can use the formatting of a template to save yourself a lot of time. So think, for example, our engagement letters are quite standard, but we want to bring in different information, obviously, for the different clients, their names, addresses, but we want to go a step further as well. And we may have different fees that we can bring into that engagement letter, but keep the same format. So we can use custom data options and our templates to set up a really easy, structured way that we can generate the same document every time, but use that information to personalize it how we need to. Okay, so Actionstep allows you to automatically generate letters, bills, and other documents from within your matters. And the merge fields will allow the template to automatically pull that information from the matters. So that means once we've set up a document template using merge fields, you can create the documents of the same kind for any specified matter in just a few clicks, and it saves us a whole lot of time. So we do have some example templates that we can provide you with, and we will provide you with some materials after this webinar. So one is a client letter, really good to get our letterhead all set up. That can be merge fields as well. So if we do change our address or our logo, these will automatically change on all of our templates rather than having to go through and rebrand everything again. And also things that will never change, like the date, ID, client information. So some example templates we provide are client letters, deposit slips, invoice templates, and account statements. I'm now going to take you through a demonstration. Before I start the demo, I just wanted to take you through our Actionstep user guide and where you'll find some really helpful documents to help you before we get into the demo and demo what it is that I'm doing, where you can find some further information. So we have done a webinar on using the Word add-in to make your templates. So if you're not familiar with this already, please go back and have a look at this webinar. Also, we have a really helpful user guide article on merge field options. Now, this will go through some of the merge field options that I will use in the demo. So again, if you're unfamiliar with these, it's really good to have a read of this user guide article and to use this as you're developing any of your own templates. We are going to look at demoing conditional merge fields, and it's here in this user guide article where you will find some really helpful information on if something is true, how we show a paragraph, else we show another paragraph, and conditions like that. And then we have an article on calculated merge fields, which will really help if we're looking at adding two figures together to give a total and putting that into our letters, playing with dates, anything like that, then this article is really useful. So now I'll launch into it. I'm just now going to take you through the demo, and what we're going to do is we're going to actually create an engagement document, and I'm going to use quite a lot of different merge field options. We're going to put in a conditional merge field and a calculated merge field. So we'll get a little bit of experience with each one. Now, for our early users, this may be a little bit daunting, but what you can take away from this is what you can do with document templates. So how far you can build that automation. If you get some ideas from this, but you're finding it very hard to implement, we do have partners who you can send your templates to, and they can develop all of that automation for you if this just takes you too much time. But I'll take it away now and take you through setting up this engagement letter. So first of all, I have an engagement letter which has no merge fields, and I'm using the word add in. So the first merge field we want to add is the date. So that's a general merge field, and we want the date the document's generated. So all we have to do is click on the pencil, and this will tell me how it will look. So I can change the format of that date. Let's say I want something like that. I can then click insert. Now that will insert the date for me, and I can take away the instruction there for the date. Now we also want to add our reference. So that would be our matter ID. So again, going to insert the merge field and matter details. We've got the ID of the matter here. So if I want to see what it would be for my matter, I can see 133, which is what I want. So I can insert it. Now I just want to pull that back one. Okay. I then want to insert client names, who they're addressed to. So again, we'll insert and we'll look at what we want to insert here. And sorry, that will be matter parties because we're looking at something from a client. And we want the client's details here, or it may be the client primary contact, depending on how we're setting up. So there's lots and lots of merge fields in relation to a client. So I would suggest using the search merge field function. So I'm trying to find name. And again, we get lots of different ways we can show name. So we really need to go through and have a look. And I think I would want the first name, last name, list. So if there's more than one client, it will show both. And if we have a company, it will also show the company as well. So again, I can click on the pencil and it will show me. So in my matter, I've actually got 2 clients set up. So it will show me what it would look like. And if that's what I want, I can just click on insert. I then want the address. So I want the mailing address, and we can have mailing address line, which if I click on the pencil, will look like this. Or we can separate them out, mailing address line 1 and mailing address line 2. So for this purposes, I'm going to put in mailing address line 1. And then directly after, I'm going to put in mailing address line 2. Now for mailing address line 2, this is where I'm going to use some merge field options. So if I toggle field codes in here, we can see I've asked the mailing address line 2 PT client. Okay, what if there is no line 2 of the mailing address? This is going to bring in stars, which isn't what I want. So what I would add in here is a if null equals ignore. What that does is if there is no value in that address line 2, so it's blank, we're not going to see stars, we won't see anything at all. However, if it is got an address line 2, then I'm going to see address line 1, space, and then address line 2. Do I want them to both be on the same line? Probably not. But if I put the address line 2 on the next line and there isn't one, I'm going to have a gap that I also don't want. So what's really good for that as well is that it's new line equals before. So what we're saying there is if this isn't null, so if there is an address line 2, I want to return carriage at the beginning of that merge field, which will put in a new line. So it'll put it on a new line, and if it's not there, there won't be a new line. So I'm going to toggle that back now. And then we may put in city, mailing city, and postcode. Mailing postcode. Okay, now I want an email address to show if there is an email address. So again, that's another if null ignore. Okay, so we've got email address. So we're going to insert. So if I click on the pencil again, it will show me what would come up. So I'm going to insert that merge field. And again, I'm going to toggle that merge field. And again, I'm going to put my if null equals ignore. So again, if it's not there, I'm not getting stars. And again, I can put the new line before if we don't want that gap. Now, what I would also suggest is we can just show the email, but we may also want to say email ... and then the email address. So if that's something that we're looking at, we can use prefix or suffix. So we can put in a prefix here, and we may want email ... and then underscore would be a space. We can't put in a space, we need to put in a character, so the underscore would bring in a space. And then that way, if it's not null, it will say email and then the email address. And we'll toggle that off. Now here we want to put the matter ID. So once again, what we're looking at is matter details and bringing in matter ID. Then we want the first names of the clients. So matter party, client. Oh, again, better to search. And we want first name, list. As easy as that. Now here we've asked for details from initial consult. Now this is something that I obtained through custom data. So we want to go through a data collection. And I have a data collection here which is in relation to engagement information. So what I'm asking for here is the initial consult reason, which is where I might put purchase of a property. So we will put that initial engagement, initial consult in there. Okay, now what we want is if there's a cost agreement already in place, we want this paragraph. However, if there's no cost agreement already in place, we want this paragraph. So what we're going to do here is do what we call a conditional merge field. So for this, I'm going to put in, now all of this is in those user guide articles that I have sent, that we will send out with this webinar, is if cost agreement, if engagement cost agreement equals yes, star, then we want this paragraph, else if it's no, so that would just be an else. And then we just have to end it off with an end if. Now all of those details, as I said, are on the materials that will be sent to you. Okay, so what that does is that will say where we've collected, we may collect if there's a cost agreement on the matter, as we're working through the steps, if we select yes, it will show a certain paragraph. If we select no, it'll show a different paragraph. And now here, we're asking for fees. Okay, so engagement fees, and this is something we also obtain. So we can put that in as custom data, disbursements. Okay, and the total. Now, we may not want to manually have to work out the total every time, and it may be that in our engagement letters we're asking for half of the fee up front. So we don't want to manually have to work that out. We want the document to do it itself. So what I have done here, I created a calculated merge field that I called total calc, and that will add together the professional fees and the disbursements and give us a total. Okay, we can then go through. We're asked for another matter ID here, and again, very easy to insert it with our add-in. Matter details, matter ID, inserted. Now my header and footer were already done, and that is for the current user. And here I'm asked for another function, which is to repeat for every client on the matter. And I will add that in. So to insert that repeat block, what we do is we insert field. Now yours may look a little bit different to mine depending on what version or if we're using. So it's a mail merge field. And what we want to do here is we want to repeat whatever's within the block, the repeat block, for how many clients we have. So the data source equals action dot participant dot client. Now those instructions as well will be there for you, and I will also make this template available to you. So please don't worry about typing or trying to copy everything down. You will get this template with the resources. Okay, so we've got our repeat block here, and then what we do want to add in after that is just a repeat end. Okay, so that finishes up my document template. Now what we're going to do is we're going to generate it and show you how that looks, and I'll just quickly take you through and show you that calculated merge field as well. Now we can look at generating those letters. And something that's really interesting that I wanted to let everyone know about, and thanks to Reed at Actionstep for this little tidbit, but if you are looking at naming conventions for your documents, you can use merge fields as well. So say for instance, in this example, I'm using the first name and last name of the client and a system date, but you could use your action ID or anything like that, so that when that file is generated, it takes on that name using the merge fields, and you don't have to manually do that. So that's something that's really, really helpful. So really, where we pulled some of that information from into our document template was into the estimated fees, into the total disbursements, and then this here is a merge field. And we also have our paragraphs that work with whether there is a cost agreement or whether there isn't. So I've actually gone ahead and I've generated two depending on what we pick for that cost agreement. So if we have a look at them, you can see here we already have a cost agreement in place. So that was when we put yes against cost agreement, and it didn't bring in any of those fees because we're not interested in the fees. That's all set out in a different cost agreement, and it may be that they have a cost agreement to do multiple matters. And then if we have a look at the other one here, we can see we don't have a cost agreement here. So we do have the fees, and this here is calculated using a calculated merge field. And last but not least, I just wanted to take you through how we came to get that calculated merge field. So if I go up to admin, and then we go to document assembly, we look at our merge field list. Now I can filter the list by calculated field, and when I filter it, I will see the one calculated merge field that I've created, and you can add the calculated field here. Now all of this is in the instructions, and this here is our calculated merge field. So essentially what we've done here is we've removed, because it is currency, we've removed the currency to make them normal numbers from these custom data fields, and then we've added them together. And echo is what we show on the screen, so we want to show the total, but we want to show it in that currency format. Now all of this is in the user guide to help you as well. So I do hope that was helpful, and I hope it wasn't overwhelming. There is a lot that we can do with document templates. And if you do have ideas and you wanted someone to do these for you, then all of our partners are really well versed in creating any of these document templates and the automations that go along with them. Thanks everyone for attending. Everyone who registered for this webinar will receive a video recording. You'll also receive links and any document templates that we can provide to you. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at customersuccess@actionstep.com. And also, please know that we will run an Ask an Expert session after this webinar, so you can come to that session if you do have questions. So if you are trying to put together some document templates and you're running into some issues, please feel free to jump on and ask any questions at all, and we will be available to answer those. Thanks again.